Yo, what's going on? I want to say this before I get like real deep into the whole spill on Atlanta. A lot of people will talk about, how I talk about Atlanta all the time. You know what I'm saying? In the comment section of the videos that I do about Atlanta. They'll say stuff like, yo, man, you clout chasing. Why you talking about my city, this and that and so forth. And my thing is this, man. Only in the African-American community will you say things like my city or threaten me, like saying that I can't talk about your city. Like, do you say that to the Caucasian man? For real, I want to know. If it's your city, why is it so much crime? If it's your city, why is it so many homeless people? If it's your city, I suggest that you fix your city. But see, you won't do that. But I'm dead ass serious though. Like, do you say that to Caucasian people when they get off the plane at Hartsfield Airport? Before they enter into the airport, do you stop them and say, hey, listen, this is my city. This is how you conduct yourself, blah, 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 blah. No, you don't. Only in a black community are we subjected to rules and regulations from people that have no power. Zilch. None. I'm going to keep on talking about your quote unquote city, because that's where my black people are going. And for those that say, man, once you get off Atlanta, that's all you do is Atlanta videos. At the Atlanta videos, you talk about the same thing. Every Atlanta video, you talk about the same thing. Guess what? You listen to music that, and the rappers talk about the same shit. They rap about the same shit. Sex, money, drugs, and violence. You ain't got nothing to say about that, though. You listen to it may be a different artist, but you listen to the same beat. All of them got the same beat. All of them talk about the same shit. But you ain't got no problem with that, right? You go to work, don't you? Monday through Friday. The same job, the same time. You take break at the same at the same time of day. You get off at the same time of day. Your life is nothing but a repeat button. And you gonna have the nerve to tell me that I talk about the same thing. You probably shop at the same store, eat at the same restaurant, but you had the nerve to tell me that I need to switch up. Nah, I tell you what, this is how you all are gonna stop me from doing Atlanta videos. How about you just not look at them? Straight up. If the views are not up in the sky, right? I'm not gonna do them. If I put out this video, right? This Atlanta video, and it does 300 views for the whole total month, I'm done. But if it does 1,000 views, I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna do another one. And I don't need the clout chase. I don't need Atlanta. I know I'm the shit. I know it. So I don't need no Atlanta videos to get me some type of clout. Is you crazy? Let's move on. In the comment section of a lot of videos I do about Atlanta, people will say, man, something must have happened to that dude. He must have got turned out. That's what it is. Nah, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. Even though that down there, it's the gay capital, the black gay capital, that is Atlanta. Even though down there, the men, the feminine men, they are very aggressive. Very aggressive. I stayed in this apartment complex and right off of Roswell Road. I think it was called an atrium or something like that. Right off of Roswell Road in Sandy Springs. A couple of doors away from me, the LGBTQ. I don't want to disrespect them, but the LGBT, even though they disrespected me, the LGBTQ, people, you know what I'm saying? They stayed like several doors away from me. They knew I had a girl. They knew I had children. They knew I was a family man. But yet and still, they used to put letters on my window talking about some, yo, give me a call. The men down there that are that way, you know what I'm saying? Like Kings of Comedy, him downstairs, Bernie Mac, you know what I'm saying? That way, they're very aggressive. So ain't nobody turn me out. You crazy? I'm a masculine man. Don't you ever disrespect me. And yes, true indeed, I'm going to let you know that off the rip in the comment section. Don't you ever disrespect me. I'm a masculine man. You don't know me. Real talk. So ain't nobody turn me out. But I tell you what Atlanta did do to me. It shocked the living hell out of me. Because I was under the impression that this was a black city where black people practice black excellence. And when I went down there, that's not what I saw. That's real talk. I was shocked and amazed to know that coming from a city called Charlotte, right? Where Charlotte is a Caucasian city. Straight up. It's a straight up capitalistic city. Straight up. Coming from that, right? And moving to Atlanta, I thought that it would be different. But I found out instantly that white city called Charlotte treated me better as a black man than a black city called Atlanta could ever treat me. That's real. It was shocking to me. It amazed me. I never knew. I used to hear about it all the time. You know what I'm saying? I used to date this female. She was of a darker hue, darker complexion. And she would complain about how, people mistreated her based on her skin complexion. And I thought it was like, it was a small thing. I always believed, I was like, that's, but it's colorism is not that big. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Down in good old Atlanta, but not only colorism is big down there, but classism is way more bigger. Way more bigger. I was shocked and amazed, and I'm not trying to be funny, I'm just being real. When I lived in Charlotte, well, now I'm here in Charlotte, you know what I'm saying? There's a diversity when looking at the homeless society, because it is a society. When looking at homelessness, there's a diversity. I'm not trying to be funny. You see some homeless people that are white, Caucasian, black, Latino. In Atlanta, the majority of homeless people are black. And I know you're going to give me that BS like, well, the city is black. So no, miss me with that shit. Miss me with it, because not only are the homeless people, the majority of homeless people are black in Atlanta, but also around Atlanta, metro Atlanta. There's a direct line drawn in Atlanta, as well as in metro Atlanta, where it's the have and the have-nots. Ain't no middle class. It's either you have money or you don't. And most people don't have money. And you have to excuse me. I had high expectations when I moved to Atlanta. You have to excuse me for that. I apologize. Of having high expectations when moving to Atlanta. Yeah, I was shocked about that, man. And then, once I found that out, I was like, man, I started experiencing racism. So you experience colorism, classism inside Atlanta, inside 285, Highway 285. And then outside, especially what they call North Atlanta or North Fulton County, you experience racism. So there's so much shit going on in that area till it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I vowed for those 2.5 years that I was there, each and every day, I vowed to get the hell out of there, man. I vowed to get the hell out of there, man. And yes, true indeed, I was naive. I should have done my research prior to me moving there. Had I known that Atlanta has not taken heed, most cities do have a horrible past. But you would think, being that it's a black city, that it wouldn't have such a horrible past that it does. But it does. Like 28 in the 80s, 28 young adult teens and black kids were killed, and then they had a nerve to blame it on one person. When you look at Lake Lanier, but yet and still, you know, of course they're gonna, well, that ain't Atlanta. Yeah, but it's right up the street. And during the summers, people actually go there. And every year, I'm saying this like this is probably the 9th time that I've said this on a video. Every year somebody dies. But nobody really talks about Lake Lanier and its history. And for the blacks that do, they're silenced. Because, you know, Atlanta wants to keep this like image, like they all for black people. But for those that don't know, there was a dam and they let the water go and flooded, to make the long story short, and flooded a whole black community. So there's a black community, houses, school, church, baseball field, etc., underwater at Lake Lanier. Let me say this too. They flooded the black community, and there were black people living there while they flooded. See, nobody wants to talk about the history of Atlanta. No one. And I'm not, hey, listen, man, you know, people will talk about, you know, the LGBTQ community and all the rest of that stuff and blah, 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 this and that and so forth. Man, Atlanta has a history of that. So nobody can say the natives or the people that were, as they call them, Grady babies, y'all can't say that transplants brought that there. It was already that stuff going on down there. For real. And you know what's so funny? I'm not going to say that it existed in Africa, but black people, we got to sit down and have a conversation. For real. Because we act as though that all of this stuff that's going on is new. No. We have a history of homosexuality that we don't want to address. Like during slavery, where the slave master was bucking the slave. Well, I want to talk about that, right? Or how about Bayard Rustin? Y'all don't know who Bayard Rustin is? He's the one that helped Dr. Martin Luther King with the nonviolent marches. Matter of fact, he was part of the whole civil rights movement alongside Martin Luther King. You know, and I'm not trying to be funny. This is real. This is documented. If you don't believe me, check it out. Google it. While Dr. Martin Luther King was doing his "We Shall Overcome One Day," marching down the streets, you know what I'm saying, leading black people to nowhere, leading black people to a baseball bat over the head, dogs biting them. You know what Bayard Rustin was doing? He was receiving blowjobs from young white males and getting arrested for that shit. If you don't believe me, it's documented. So you can't say that homosexuality is something new in the African American community. It might be something new when some of us because not all of us are from Africa. Let's just be real. What some of us existed in the continent called that they erroneously call Africa. But this has been going on for years that the black community doesn't want to address. And no, I wasn't one of them DL dudes and none of that. You all want so desperately, so bad to paint a picture about me and the reason why I have this anger or why I'm talking about Atlanta so bad to the point where you'll make up shit. Well, you know, he must have went down there because he wanted to be a rapper. Oh, well, he must have went down there because he wanted to be an actor. Man, you know, he might be on the DL. Something really happened to him. You know the way he talk? Look at his eyebrows. Look at the way he got his beard cut. Just stupid shit. But you don't want to deal with the facts, though. You don't want to deal with the facts. And you know I'm giving it to you. Ain't no jobs down there. The women down there, oh, please. You know they're fucking the same man. That's the reason why there's AIDS and all types of diseases circulating in and around Atlanta, specifically in the African American community. And then, you know, it's man on man. And then you have DL man. And then you have orgies, sex parties, where men on men, women on women, woman on man, husband, swingers, all types of shit. The CDC is down there for a reason. All types of shit happen in Atlanta. But I'm supposed to shut the fuck up and not say anything about it. I'm supposed to be a regular dude and just go about my way. Well, you know what? Atlanta didn't work for me, so I'm not going to say it. I ain't going to talk about it. Now, I'm not going to tell people that want to move down to Atlanta not to move. I'm just going to let them bust their ass and find out for themselves. That's the traditional way, the traditional thought that black people have. For real. And this is the reason why we fail in life. Straight up. My father had that type of mentality. Man, I ain't gonna give you nothing. You just gonna have to learn on your own. You know Caucasians don't think that way. You know Caucasians don't throw their son or daughter out, and I'm not saying that's what my father or my parents did. You know that Caucasians, parents don't throw their sons and daughters out at the age of 18 and let them figure the shit out on their own. Caucasian people, parents support their children. That's what they do. One way of supporting your children is real tiny. Put them on your credit card so they can start establishing credit while they're 13, 14, 15 years old. By the time they become an adult, they'll have a 750, 800 credit score. That's one small way of doing of helping out your child. But now you know what we do? We put our son and our daughter's name on a light bill. Our son and daughter gets old and they start looking at their credit like, hold up, Georgia Energy or Georgia Gas or let's say like Charlotte, Duke Energy. How the hell I got a $8,000 bill? And I ain't never. Yeah, because your mom's used your name to get the lights turned on. And she never paid the bill. We are fucking doomed as a race. That's a fact. But I'm supposed to shut the fuck up. That's what I'm supposed to do. We're doomed. Let me tell you something, man. In Atlanta, in the South overall, for those that are coming from northern cities, straight up, and before I do this, I'm not bragging because I wish I never had it. I don't want to be in an environment to have one. If you ain't got one of these, baby, It's curtains for you. Because everybody has one, whether it's legal or illegal. The violence in Atlanta, the violence in Metro Atlanta is ridiculous. But you know what I'll get in the comment section of this video? Well, man, you act like every other city ain't like that. That's the problem though. That's the problem. We need to fix it. Instead of making excuses for a city that we know that's fucked up. I got sick to my goddamn stomach every time I turned on the news while living in Atlanta, seeing someone that got shot and killed that looked like me. I got sick of it. And my children did too. And you say to yourself, how in the world is it that there's so many people, so many bodies in Atlanta, in Metro Atlanta? Yo, no lie, they got as many people that live in Atlanta. They got it. They got that and then some of police, cops. And you're trying to figure out, like, how in the world they got Georgia State Police, North Fulton County Police, South Fulton County Police, Atlanta Police, Cobb County Police, Marietta Police, Dunwoody Police, DeKalb County Police. The list goes on. Every little small county and city that's surrounded around Atlanta, or rather Metro Atlanta, they got cops for them. College Park, East Point. I'm just trying to figure out what the cops doing. Or is this intentional? Are they just allowing, us to kill ourselves? But I thought that this was a black city, and it's nothing but black excellence down there. Yeah, you're sadly mistaken. There's a small group of black people that's doing well for themselves, and that's the problem. That's the problem. Those people that are doing well for themselves, their ideology or the way that their way of thought is, well, shit, I got mine, I'm good. Yeah, but what about those homeless people over there? What about the mom that got 3 children and she's living in an extended stay hotel, and she can only afford money for that week, and she's out? Man, shit, she need to work harder. It's never the system that's broken. Well, the system's not broken. It's engineered that way. It's never blaming on the local government. It's blaming on the individual. Well, she need to work harder. She need to get 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs. But ain't no jobs. Everybody is going for the same job. Real talk. There's roughly 6.5 million people in the Metro Atlanta area. There's not enough jobs for people. They had, what was it, the past month? Damn near close to 80,000 evictions. And you know what your excuse would be? Man, they shouldn't be living above their means. Some of those people weren't living above their means. It's you black boule elitist motherfuckers that always got an excuse on why there's homelessness or black people doing this, black people doing that. No, sometimes it's the struggle. Black people out there really trying to get it, but they're struggling. Ain't no help down there. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed to say it. There was a time years ago when I was living in Charlotte and I needed help on my rent and my light bill. There's a place in Uptown Charlotte called Crisis Ministries. I went there, they helped me out with my rent and my light bill. They ain't got no program or no shit like that down there in Atlanta. Crisis ministry still exists till this day. And if I ever get in a situation, I'll never be embarrassed or ashamed to take my black ass down there because I got children. Fuck my pride. And I could give two flying fucks what y'all think. Because who and what matters to me are my children. So if I ever got to take my black ass down there, you know, if my lights get cut off and I can't afford it, I'll do it, rather than make an excuse to my children on why the lights got turned on. You see, y'all ain't got no heart, no love for your people. And I never thought that I'll ever see the day when I can honestly say that the average white, let me take it back, the average Caucasian person in Charlotte will look out more for me than the average black man or woman in Atlanta will. How you like that? That's real talk. Don't say, or maybe, you know, it wasn't for you and it was for other people, because I know other people that moved down here and became successful. Those people are the same people or persons that I talk about, that deal with individualism. They're selfish. They don't give a fuck. They can do this when they see homeless people. They can do this when they see black man after black man getting shot and killed. They could turn a blind eye, but I can't. And maybe my big heart needs to shrink down to a small one, but it has. So in that aspect, yes, Atlanta did do something to me. It made me bitter towards my own race. Because I would never in my life think that black people would treat one another the way that I saw the black people that treated me as well as other people down there in Atlanta. Never. And it hurt. Excuse me for being one of the last Mohicans when it comes to having love for my race. Excuse me for having high expectations, because now I have low expectations now. Now I don't give a fuck. Now I can do this. I could turn a blind eye, because I know that black people, straight up, specifically in Atlanta, they are really the children of Willie Lynch. They are, to the T. And if you don't know who Willie Lynch is, read about him. Yeah, man. It's all about money down there. And if you got a nice car, yo, you might want to park that in the Charlotte. Take the bus back down to Atlanta. Even though crime let me say this, crime and everything that goes on in Atlanta happens here in Charlotte, but not on a big scale. And not only that, we're not saying Charlotte is a black city. And when I moved back to Charlotte, I didn't have high expectations. I didn't expect for Charlotte to be a certain kind of way. And that's the problem. Most people expect Atlanta to be a certain kind of way. We got caught, I, including others, got caught in the hype. Oh, it's a black city, so therefore I know I can do good. Nah, the black cop, officer, whatever you want to call it, police, 12, whatever, will bash you over the head just like any other cop. That black judge, that black lawyer will send your black ass to jail just like any other fucking judge or lawyer. Black or white. Ain't no black privilege down there. None. And truth be told, the city is ran by black puppets. Guess who is the puppeteer? We already know.